while bombs explode in the Middle East and the deafening sound of sirens echoes through the cities. A much quieter but equally devastating war is underway. A war where there are no soldiers in the trenches, no tanks in the streets, but lines of code that can destroy an entire economy in seconds. Today, we will delve into one of the most audacious cyber operations of recent times: the attack by the Israeli hacker group Predatory Sparrow against Iran's financial system. Brace yourself, because this story goes far beyond simple hacking. It is an invisible battle, where the enemy does not carry rifles, but laptops. It all began with a series of meticulously planned and executed cyber attacks. The Predatory Sparrow group, known for its efficiency and its alignment, although not officially confirmed, with the interests of Israel, decided to strike directly at the financial heart of Iran. The objective? To sabotage the critical financial structures used by the Iranian regime to circumvent the economic sanctions imposed by the United States and its allies. The first target was SEPA Bank, a state-owned institution closely linked to the Iranian military and responsible for international transactions for the Ministry of Defense. Within minutes, the bank's internet banking systems were down, and the bank's ATMs, located throughout the country, stopped working. Imagine the panic. Millions of Iranians were prevented from withdrawing money or accessing their accounts. It was the beginning of chaos. But the attack was only just beginning. The second target was even more ambitious. Nobitex, Iran's largest cryptocurrency exchange, with more than 11 million users. Nobitex was not just any brokerage. It was the main channel through which ordinary Iranians and the regime itself moved money in and out of the country, bypassing international blockades. The blow was devastating. The hacker group managed to steal hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto assets. Faced with the collapse, Nobitex was forced to suspend its operations. For many Iranians, this attack was a personal blow. After all, in a country strangled by sanctions and with inflation exceeding 40% per year, cryptocurrencies were one of the few ways to send or receive money from abroad. The Iranian economy had already been struggling for years. The regime needed to invest billions in its nuclear program and missile development, while the population suffered from unemployment, rising prices, and a mass migration of brains abroad. In this desperate scenario, Nobitex emerged as a lifeline. It allowed the local currency to be converted into cryptocurrencies, such as Tether, a digital asset pegged to the dollar, making it easier to send funds abroad. In addition, it was a two-way street. Iranians abroad also used the platform to send money to their families in Iran, helping to keep the domestic economy afloat. With Nobitex offline and the SEPA Bank closed, the impact was immediate and profound. The Iranian government's response was not long in coming. In a desperate move, the authorities began to severely restrict access to the internet, blocking foreign websites and banning the use of popular messaging apps, under the pretext of preventing espionage. In addition, the regime imposed a ban on foreign-brand cell phones and laptops among civil servants and military personnel, in an attempt to protect internal communications from possible sabotage. The official narrative was that everything was under control. But behind the scenes, panic was spreading. Reports began to emerge that the government itself was discreetly warning its population to quickly withdraw funds from banks and brokerages before it was too late. And all the while, Predatory Sparrow was gloating. On social media, the hacker group posted provocative messages advising Iranians to withdraw their money immediately, insinuating that new attacks could occur at any moment. What seemed like a simple hacking attack turned into something much bigger, a large-scale psychological operation. The Iranian population, already under pressure from the crisis, was now plunged into collective paranoia. In Tehran, many people simply turned off the internet on their phones, believing that Israel could spy on them in real time. It was as if fear had taken over the streets. But what was behind this attack? What was the real goal? As the impact of the attacks continued to spread across Iran, cybersecurity experts began to analyze the complexity and sophistication of the operation. The Predatory Sparrow group was no ordinary band of amateur hackers. Its operations had the characteristics of a state-run operation, with resources, planning, and advanced technology that indicated direct or indirect involvement of government agencies, most likely Israel. Although the group has never publicly claimed any official ties to the Israeli government, Western analysts and intelligence agencies point out that the precision of the attacks, the choice of targets, and the synchronization of the timing with other military actions indicate a digital arm of the already existing conflict between the two countries. The NBCTF, an Israeli agency under the Defense Ministry, imposed severe sanctions on Iran's economic infrastructure, freezing approximately $150 million in Nobitex crypto assets that were held on exchanges outside Iran. This further limited the Iranian regime's ability to move funds internationally and deepened the financial crisis that was already punishing the population. Despite all these, on the other side, retaliation was not long in coming. Pro-Iranian hackers launched massive DDoS attacks against Israeli government websites and attempted to infiltrate Israeli mobile phones through sophisticated phishing campaigns. However, Israel's National Cybersecurity Authority, considered one of the most advanced in the world, stated that these counterattacks did not have significant success and were quickly neutralized. This highlighted the technological disparity between the parties in the field of cyber warfare. The Iranian population, meanwhile, was living in a climate of growing paranoia. In Tehran, reports of citizens turning off their internet-connected devices became common, driven by fears that Israel could spy on them in real time. The feeling of vulnerability and the fear that their finances and personal information were exposed to foreign surveillance created an environment of silent panic, where digital isolation seemed to be the only form of protection. In addition to the psychological impact, the practical consequences of these attacks were devastating. The Fars news agency, which is linked to the Revolutionary Guards, reported that payments to military pensioners had been suspended and that many ATMs in the country were out of order. The lack of access to cash has directly affected the daily lives of millions of people, increasing popular dissatisfaction and discontent amid an already severe economic crisis. Nobitex, Iran's leading cryptocurrency exchange, had moved more than $22 billion since its inception in 2017, according to blockchain analytics and company sources. Its role was therefore crucial for many Iranians seeking to escape the constraints imposed by the international financial system. Still, Nobitex's management has maintained that the platform is private and independent, with no direct ties to the regime or the Revolutionary Guard, although investigations indicate that the Iranian government itself and its military branches used the exchange for international payments. In fact, one of the branches of the Iranian armed forces, the Quds Force, responsible for financing and arming groups considered terrorists in the Middle East, such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and militias in Yemen, used Nobitex to move millions of dollars. The exposure of this connection brought even more tension to the situation, as the attacks on the Iranian financial system had impacts that went beyond the economy, affecting the financing of groups operating in the region. The digital invasion was meticulous and strategic. The hackers managed to obtain the keys to Nobitex's digital wallets, which were probably accessed by key people within the company itself, which reveals the depth of the attack. After stealing the funds, the group sent the amounts to inaccessible wallets, burning the money and using addresses that contained direct insults to the Revolutionary Guard, making it clear that the attack had a political motivation beyond simple economic sabotage. This was not the first attack by Predatory Sparrow. Since 2021, the group has been wreaking havoc in Iran, disabling payment systems at gas stations and even causing fires at industrial facilities by overloading the local electrical system. This escalation shows that the war between Israel and Iran is not limited to conventional bombings, but is evolving into a multifaceted conflict, where digital weapons are as effective and dangerous as physical bombs. As this silent cyber battle rages on, the world is watching closely as the modernization of military conflicts redefines strategies and expands war fronts. The internet, which connects billions of people every day, is becoming an invisible minefield where economic, political, and military power can be devastated at the click of a button. The Israeli hacker group Predatory Sparrow carried out coordinated cyber attacks against Iran's financial system, targeting banks and cryptocurrency exchanges. The first target was the SEPA Bank, which is linked to the Iranian military, causing internet banking to go down and ATMs to be paralyzed. The second target was Nobitex, Iran's largest cryptocurrency exchange with 11 million users. Hundreds of millions of dollars were stolen and the platform suspended its operations. The attacks occurred amid severe international sanctions against Iran and an already collapsing economy, with high inflation and brain drain. Nobitex was crucial for Iranians to send money abroad, using cryptocurrencies such as Tether, USDT, to evade financial restrictions. In response, the Iranian government blocked the internet, foreign websites, imported cell phones and messaging apps in an attempt to contain the panic and protect information. While the hacking group has not claimed any ties to the Israeli government, analysts point to evidence of state support, with the NBCTF, Israel's defense agency, imposing sanctions and freezing $150 million in Iranian crypto assets. Pro-Iran hackers attempted to retaliate with DDoS attacks against Israel, but were unsuccessful, according to Israeli officials. The hackers burned the stolen funds, sending them to inaccessible wallets whose addresses included insults to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, suggesting a politically motivated attack. The attack exposed a new phase in the war between Israel and Iran, where digital weapons and cyber attacks are as impactful as traditional military action. This silent battle between code and digital currency redefines the boundaries of modern conflict, showing that the battlefield today goes far beyond what meets the eye. Cybersecurity, the global economy, and political stability are intertwined like never before, and groups like Predatory Sparrow remind us that the next great war may be fought in the shadows of the World Wide Web. It is an era in which those who control the data can control the destiny of nations. So stay tuned, because the digital war is just beginning and its consequences will echo for a long time. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell so you don't miss any updates, and leave your comment. What do you think of this new form of conflict? Is the world ready for this reality? See you in the next video.